Kai's ship glided silently through the void of space. Stars streaked past the windows, small pinpoints of light against the black sky. He had been chosen for this mission because of his courage and quick thinking, but even so, a knot of nervousness twisted in his stomach. Zorth was unlike any planet humans had visited. Its reputation for isolation and secrecy was well known. Many who had traveled there before said the planet was beautiful, but dangerous. As Kai's ship approached, he could see the surface shimmer beneath him. The forest glowed faintly in blue and green, and rivers reflected the sky in colors he had never seen. The mountains rose sharply, jagged and silver in the sunlight, and the wind, if there was any, carried a soft hum. The entire world seemed alive. Kai felt a mixture of awe and caution. He had seen alien planets before, but Zorth had a different energy. It was quiet but tense, as if the land itself was aware of every visitor. Kai's boots pressed against the ground when the landing ramp lowered. The soil beneath him sparkled like tiny crystals. He inhaled, curious about the air. It smelled sweet and fresh, almost like rain mixed with flowers. He activated his translator and scanned the area. Sensors detected no immediate threats, but Kai knew better than to relax too quickly. He started to walk through the forest, taking careful steps among the glowing trees. Their leaves pulsed faintly, as though they were breathing. Strange animals darted between the shadows, small and delicate, yet alive with energy. Each step Kai took made him feel more connected to this new world, but also more aware of how much he did not know. Then he saw her dot at first. She was just a shape among the trees, tall and pale in the dim light. Her hair shimmered like silver, falling around her shoulders. Her eyes, wide and luminous, were the color of ice. She watched him quietly, her expression unreadable. For a moment, Kai thought he was imagining her. No one had said he would meet anyone right away. "You haven't changed," she said suddenly. Her voice was soft but carried a strength that made Kai stop in his tracks. He looked at her more closely. Her lips trembled, and she seemed to shake slightly. There was something familiar in her tone, something that tugged at a memory buried deep in Kai's mind. Kai's heart skipped. He opened his mouth, but no words came. I know you," he finally said, his voice low. She nodded slightly, her eyes searching his face. "I remember you too," she said. "I did not think I would see you again." Kai took a cautious step forward. "Leora." The name slipped out before he could stop it. Her head turned sharply at the sound of it. "Yes," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It has been many cycles since you helped me." Kai remembered instantly. Years ago, on a distant mission, he had saved a young alien child from danger. The child had been learning to control her powers, untrained and afraid. Kai had risked his life to keep her safe. He had not expected to see her again, not like this. Grown into someone strong and commanding. How have you grown so fast?" he asked. He could see the power in her movements, the way she stood with confidence. She was no longer the small, frightened child he had once known. Leora looked down, her hands clasped together. "Time passes differently for us. I have learned much, and I have not forgotten you." Her eyes softened slightly, and for a moment, Kai saw the child he had saved years ago reflected in them. Kai felt a mix of relief and unease. He wanted to approach, to speak more, but he knew this planet was full of unknown dangers. "I am here, on a mission from Earth," he said. "I mean no harm to Zorth or your people." Leora's gaze hardened. "You are human. Humans are unpredictable. Some bring peace, some bring war. How can I trust you?" Kai met her eyes firmly. "You do not need to trust me yet. I will prove my intentions through my actions." He wanted to show her that humans could be brave and honorable, that they could act with kindness even in dangerous situations. For several long moments, they simply looked at each other. The glowing forest around them was silent, holding its breath. Then Leora stepped back slightly, gesturing with her hand. "Come with me. We must speak where it is safe." Kai followed. He noticed the way her movements were fluid and precise, every step controlled. She led him deeper into the forest, through paths that seemed invisible to the casual observer. Small lights hovered in the air, like fireflies, but they did not move when Kai approached. It was as though the forest itself was alive, guiding them towards safety. Finally, they reached a clearing surrounded by tall crystalline structures. The air here felt charged with energy. Lior stopped, turning to face him. Here, you can speak freely, but know that you are being watched, not by me, but by others. Kai nodded. He felt the weight of her words. Zorth was not a world to be taken lightly. Even now, he could feel the presence of eyes on him, assessing him, judging him. I understand, he said. I will not do anything to harm your planet or your people. I want to help, if you will let me. Lior studied him carefully. We will see, she said. Your actions will show your heart more than your words. For now, tell me of your world, Kai. Tell me why you are here and why you have returned. After all these cycles, Kai took a deep breath. He began to speak of Earth, of his mission, of humans' desire to explore and learn. He spoke with honesty and with hope, hoping that Liora would see that humans were capable of courage and friendship. As he spoke, he felt a small connection rekindle between them, a bond that had not been broken despite the years and the distance. And in that glowing forest on Zorth, under the watchful trees and the strange energy of the land, Kai and Liora began the first step of a journey that would test courage, loyalty, and the extraordinary strength of humanity. Kai walked beside Liora through the crystalline clearing. The air shimmered softly, and small motes of light floated around them, giving the place an otherworldly glow. Kai's mind was full of questions, but he chose to speak carefully. He knew Zorth was a place of caution and respect. Every movement mattered. Tell me about you, Kai said, breaking the silence. I remember helping you long ago, but I want to know who you are now. Liora paused and looked at him. Her silver eyes seemed to hold a mixture of emotions, curiosity, caution, and a hint of sorrow. I am Liora of the Alari people, she said. You saved me when I was a child. I never forgot. That was a day that changed my life. Kai nodded slowly. Memories returned vividly. He remembered the small, frightened alien child with the trembling hands. She had been running from the rival faction that wanted to use her powers. He had risked everything to protect her, using his wits and quick reflexes. At the time, he had felt a strange connection to her, as if her life and his actions were tied in a way he could not explain. You grew up fast, Kai said. You are not the same child I knew. Liora's lips curved slightly, a hint of a smile. Time passes differently for my people. We age slowly. You see me as an adult, but to me, you are still the human who saved me. That memory is fresh. Kai felt a warmth in his chest. He had saved many people in his missions, but few left such a lasting mark. He had never expected to be remembered so clearly. I am glad I could help, he said. I hope my presence here is not troubling you. Liora shook her head. It is not troubling. It is unexpected. Humans are rare here, and to see someone I remember is strange, but not unwelcome. There's much I want to learn from you, and perhaps much I want to test as well. Kai glanced around. The forest beyond the clearing shimmered in the strange light. Small creatures peeked from behind crystalline plants. They were curious but cautious. Kai realized the Alari people had a deep bond with the land, and that every step here required understanding the environment. Why now? Kai asked. Why appear to me after all this time? Liora's eyes softened. The world is changing. A threat approaches, one that may not respect our boundaries. I felt that your return would be needed, though I did not expect it would be so soon. Kai frowned. A threat? What kind? Liora looked at him seriously. A coalition of outsiders seeks to conquer or control Zorth. They see us as weak because we isolate ourselves. They do not understand our strengths. I have spent cycles preparing my people, but I cannot do it alone. I needed to see if humans can be allies, if you can act with wisdom and courage. Kai felt the weight of her words. He had trained for dangerous missions before, but nothing had prepared him for the responsibility of proving humanity on a planet that had long avoided contact. I will do my best, he said. I will not betray your trust. Liora nodded slowly. We shall see. Actions are more powerful than words. Let us walk. They moved deeper into the forest. Leora guided him through winding paths that seemed to shift as they walked. She touched certain plants lightly, and the path ahead seemed to glow, illuminating their way. Kai marveled at how connected she was to this land, how natural it felt for her to move through it. Tell me about your world, Kai, Leora said after a while. Humans are unpredictable, yes, but there is much I do not know. What drives your people? What do they seek among the stars? Kai took a deep breath. We seek knowledge. We seek understanding. We make mistakes, yes, but we also try to learn. From them, we explore because we hope to find not just new worlds, but new ways to live, new ways to be better. Leora considered his words. Exploration requires courage, but also humility. Your people must learn balance. Many forget that the universe is not a place to dominate, but to coexist with. Kai nodded. He felt a connection forming again, the same bond that had begun years ago when he had protected her. I agree. That is why I am here, not to conquer, not to harm, only to understand and to help if I can. As they walked, Leora told him more about her life. She spoke of training in the arts of energy control, of studying the history of her people, and of the challenges she had faced growing up. She was strong, capable, and intelligent, but Kai sensed an underlying tension. She had not forgotten the fear she had felt as a child, nor the responsibilities she had now as a young leader. Kai listened carefully. He wanted to learn everything he could, not just about her, but about Zorth and the people who lived there. He understood that earning her trust would not be easy. Respect was given slowly, and betrayal could destroy everything. Finally, they reached a small pool of water, perfectly clear and reflecting the glowing plants around it. Leora stopped and turned to face Kai. You have courage, she said softly. You saved me when I was powerless. That memory shaped both of us. But the time has come to see if that courage can face greater challenges. Challenges that will test not only strength, but also wisdom and heart. Kai looked into her eyes. They held the intensity of someone who had survived much, learned much, and now carried great responsibility. He felt both respect and a renewed determination. I will do whatever it takes, he said. I will not fail. Leora nodded. Good. Then we begin. First, you must understand our ways, our environment, and the creatures who share this land. Only then can you act in ways that help, not harm. The path ahead will not be simple, Kai. It will require courage, patience, and cleverness. Kai felt a spark of excitement. He had faced many missions in his life, but this one felt different. This was not just about survival or strategy. This was about trust, connection, improving humanity in a world that had never known it. The forest seemed to pulse around them as they sat by the pool. Tiny lights danced across the water's surface. Kai realized that Leora had brought him here not just to talk, but to begin the process of awakening memories, strengthening bonds, and preparing him for the trials that lay ahead. As the sun or whatever light shone over Zorth shifted in the sky, Kai knew that this was the start of something important. He had returned not just as a human explorer, but as someone who carried the hope of understanding, courage, and a bond that crossed species. Leora looked at him one last time before they rose to continue their walk. You have changed, Kai, she said quietly, but the core of you remains. That is what may help us survive the trials to come. Kai nodded, and I will stay true to that core. I will not forget why I am here, and I will not forget you. Together, they stepped deeper into the glowing forest, to beings from very different worlds, yet connected by memory, trust, and the promise of what was yet to come. Kai and Leora continued through the glowing forests of Zorth. The trees pulsed softly as if alive, and strange, colorful creatures peeked from behind the crystal-like plants. The deeper they went, the more Kai realized that this world was not just beautiful, it was alive in a way he had never seen before. Every sound, every movement seemed to carry meaning. Leora led him carefully, speaking quietly. You must understand, Kai, Zorth has remained isolated for a reason. Many outsiders have tried to control it, and many have failed. Our people are cautious because every mistake can cost lives. Kai nodded. I understand. That is why I want to help. I do not want to be another threat. I want to be an ally. Leora studied him carefully. Actions speak louder than words. Soon, your courage and judgment will be tested. A threat approaches that will not respect hesitation. Kai felt a chill run down his spine. A threat? Who's coming? Leora's silver eyes darkened slightly. A coalition of alien factions. They seek to conquer planets with rich resources. Zorth is one of their targets. They believe our isolation makes us weak. But they do not understand the power of this world or the unity of my people. Kai's mind raced. How soon will they arrive? They are already in our system. Leora said, Scouts have been detected at the outer rings. Soon, their fleet will move closer. If we are not ready, Zorth will face destruction. Kai looked around at the glowing forest, the strange rivers, and the crystal mountains. This peaceful world was in danger. He felt a strong determination rising inside him. Then we must prepare. What can I do to help? Leora hesitated. First, you must understand our defenses. We have energy barriers, trained guardians, and hidden sentinels. But they are not enough. We must also act with cunning and strategy, using every advantage of the land. I will guide you, but you must move carefully. One mistake can alert the coalition. Kai followed her through a narrow path where the glowing plants leaned inwards, forming a tunnel of light. I am ready, he said. I will learn quickly and act wisely. I promise. Leora's expression softened slightly. I believe in your intentions, Kai, but belief alone will not save lives. Observation and quick action are required. You must watch, listen, and think before you act. That is the way of Zorth. As they walked, Leora told Kai about the coalition. They were a group of alien factions that often worked together to capture valuable planets. Unlike Zorth, their worlds were harsh and violent. They had learned to fight and dominate, but they had little understanding of diplomacy, balance, or cooperation. Leora explained that the coalition relied on power and fear, assuming that weaker or isolated planets would surrender easily. Kai felt a rising sense of urgency. Humans were also underestimated by many in the galaxy, but they had an ability to act unpredictably, to find solutions that others could not imagine. He realized that this unpredictability could be a strength, a way to turn the tide against the coalition. Leora suddenly stopped and motioned for him to crouch behind a large crystal formation. From their hiding place, Kai could see small scouts, moving silently through the forest. Their armor reflected the faint glow of the plants. They were unfamiliar, strange, and threatening. They have sent scouts, Leora whispered. They are testing our defenses, looking for weaknesses. If they find a path to the city, they will bring the full fleet. Kai watched carefully. His mind worked quickly. They are moving too confidently. They do not respect the environment. I have an idea that could delay them. Leora raised an eyebrow. Go on. Kai looked around. The glowing plants seemed sensitive to motion and energy. If we can manipulate the plants and terrain, we can slow them down, create confusion. And by time for your people to prepare defenses, they will not expect humans to understand the land in the same way your people do. But we can use it to our advantage. Leora studied him carefully. You have insight. That is unusual for humans, but it may work. We will try, but we must act quickly. The scouts are approaching a bridge that leads to the central city. Together, they move silently toward the bridge. Kai followed Leora's guidance, learning how to feel the energy in the plants and understand how the terrain shifted naturally. He touched the glowing leaves, sending small pulses that seemed to resonate through the forest. The scouts paused, confused, as if the land itself resisted their intrusion. Kai and Leora moved swiftly, creating subtle changes along the path. Fallen branches, shifted crystals, and glowing pulses created obstacles that slowed the scouts and forced them to take longer routes. The coalition had underestimated the intelligence of Zorth and the ingenuity of the humans, who now walked among them. When the scouts realized they were being delayed, they grew tense. Leora whispered instructions to Kai, and together they guided the scouts into a small canyon where the sunlight made the crystal walls shimmer. The coalition soldiers hesitated, unsure of their path. In that moment, the forest seemed alive, protective, and Kai felt proud to be part of it. "We have bought time," Lior said quietly. "Your actions are clever. Zorth is safer because of them. But the coalition fleet is still moving closer. This is only the beginning." Kai nodded. "I understand. We must prepare the city, train the guardians, and use every advantage we have. I will help in any way I can." Lior looked at him with a mixture of respect and hope. "You are different from other humans I have seen. You combine courage with thoughtfulness. That is why I feel we can succeed. But the path ahead will be dangerous, Kai. The coalition will not stop until they are defeated or until Zorth falls." Kai felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. This was no ordinary mission. Lives were at stake, and the future of an entire planet rested on the choices they made. He also felt a spark of excitement. He had always faced challenges, but this one required not only skill, but also trust, strategy, and partnership with an alien people. Li were a motion for him to follow deeper into the forest. "We must reach the council. They must be informed, and they must trust your intentions. You will have to speak to leaders who may doubt humans. Your words, your honesty, and your courage will be tested. The coalition seeks weakness, and we cannot afford to show any." Kai followed closely, absorbing every detail of the forest, every movement of Liora, and every sound around him. He felt a growing connection not only to Liora, but to Zorth itself. This was a world worth protecting, and he would do everything in his power to defend it. As they moved, Liora spoke softly. "Remember, Kai, courage alone is not enough. Strategy, patience, and understanding the land and its people are what will turn the tide. The coalition underestimates us, and that is our advantage. We must use it wisely." Kai nodded firmly. "I understand. I will act with care, courage, and wisdom. We will not fail." The glowing forest stretched before them, alive and protective, as Kai and Liora prepared to face a threat that could decide the fate of Zorth. The first challenge had been met successfully, but they both knew this was only the beginning. The coalition was coming, and the survival of the planet depended on their next moves. Kai felt a strange mixture of fear, determination, and excitement. He had returned to Zorth not only to reconnect with Liora, but also to prove that humanity could rise to challenges no one had expected them to face. And with the glowing forest around them, alive with light and energy, he knew that together, they might just stand a chance against the threat that loomed in the sky. Kai followed Liora through the winding paths of Zorth's glowing forest. Every step seemed to hum with energy, and tiny lights floated in the air, like stars caught in the trees. The beauty of the world could have distracted anyone, but Kai's focus was on learning and proving himself. He knew that trust had to be earned, and he wanted Liora and her people to see that humans could be brave, clever, and honorable. "We are approaching the Crystal Ridge," Liora said. "There's a rare energy crystal there, one that can power the defense barriers of the city. It is heavily protected by natural forces. Humans rarely survive this path without preparation." Kai looked at the jagged cliffs and glowing rivers ahead. The crystal's location seemed impossible to reach, but he did not hesitate. "Then I will reach it," he said. "I must help protect your people." Liora studied him carefully. "You may succeed, but only if you remain calm and attentive. The environment is alive. It will respond to your intentions. Respect it, and it may guide you. Rush, and it may repel you." Kai nodded. He felt both fear and excitement. This was no ordinary mission. This was a test not only of courage, but also of intelligence and empathy. He began moving along the narrow path that twisted around crystal cliffs. Liora followed closely, observing him. As they walked, small creatures with translucent wings darted around them. Some were playful, others cautious. Kai noticed that whenever he made sudden movements, they scattered. He slowed his pace, moving gently and deliberately. Liora smiled slightly. "Good. You are learning to move in harmony with Zorth. That is the first step." Hours passed as they climbed higher, the air growing colder and more electric. Kai realized that the energy in this place was unusual, unlike anything on Earth. He felt the crystal pulses beneath the ground and adjusted his steps to match the rhythm. Leora moved silently beside him, occasionally touching a plant or stone to guide him. Finally, they reached a narrow ledge overlooking a deep chasm. Across the chasm was the crystal ridge, shining brightly with the energy Kai had been told about. The crystals glowed with a strong, steady light, and he could feel their power even from a distance. They are guarded by the natural forces of this land, Leora said. The ridge itself tests those who approach. You must show respect and patience. Force alone will not succeed. Kai looked at the crystals. He remembered his training on Earth observation, careful planning, and using the environment to his advantage. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes for a moment, and focused on the flow of energy beneath his feet. Slowly, he began to step forward, feeling the pulses in the crystals and adjusting his movements to match them. The ledge shifted slightly beneath him, testing his balance, but Kai did not panic. He moved with precision, feeling the rhythm of the ridge and learning from it. Leora watched closely, impressed by his focus and adaptability. Midway across, a section of the ridge trembled and sent small shards of crystal sliding down the chasm. Kai adjusted quickly, using his hands to steady himself and shifting his weight carefully. Leora whispered guidance, but he relied on his instincts and the understanding he had gained from observing the land. When he reached the ridge, Kai approached the central crystal. It was larger than he expected, glowing with a deep, steady light. As he touched it, he felt a connection, a hum of energy that resonated with the forest and with him. The crystal tested his intentions, sensing his honesty and courage. Kai focused on the task. He needed the crystal to help Zorth's defense systems, and he did not let fear or greed affect him. Slowly, the crystal responded, aligning itself with his touch. A faint pulse of light spread from the central crystal to the surrounding ridge, signaling that it had accepted him. Leora stepped forward. You have succeeded in reaching the crystal. Few outsiders have done this. Your respect, patience, and courage are recognized by Zorth itself. Kai felt a surge of pride. He had not only reached the crystal, but had also proven that humans could act with care and intelligence. I am honored, he said. I only want to help protect your world. Leora nodded. This is only one part of the challenge. The coalition may arrive soon, and the real test will be using this power wisely. But today, you have shown that humans can be more than outsiders. You can be allies. Kai smiled. Then I will continue to learn and act wisely. I want to earn the trust of your people fully. They began the journey back to the city, carrying the energy pulse from the ridge in a protective container. Along the way, they encountered small creatures trapped by fallen rocks. Kai paused immediately, using his hands and tools to free them carefully. Leora watched silently, noting his compassion. These actions matter as much as your success on the ridge, she said. You do not just act for yourself, but for all living beings here. That is why Zorth may trust you. Kai nodded. I want to do what is right, not just what is required. I will protect the land and its people as I would my own home. As they approached the city, Kai could see the defensive barriers being activated, powered partially by the energy crystal he had retrieved. Guardians trained and prepared themselves for the possibility of an attack. Kai felt satisfaction and responsibility at the same time. He had helped, but he knew the coalition was still approaching. Leora turned to him. Your actions have proven that humans can contribute. You have courage, intelligence, and respect for life. That is rare among outsiders. The next steps will test these qualities even more. Kai felt ready. He had learned from Zorth, adapted to its challenges, and gained the trust of Leora, who had once been a child in need of protection. Now, he understood that courage was not enough. Intelligence, patience, and empathy were equally important. The sun or the light that filled Zorth's sky began to shift, casting long reflections across the city. Kai knew that the coalition fleet could arrive at any moment, but he also knew that he had taken the first steps to prove humanity's value, and then his bond with Leora was growing stronger. Together, they would face the challenges ahead, using courage, strategy, and the unique strengths of humans to protect a world that had never known them fully. As they entered the city gates, Lior spoke quietly. You have done well, Kai. Your journey is just beginning. But today, you have shown what it means to act with honor. Remember this lesson, for it will guide you when the real danger arrives. Kai nodded, feeling a sense of purpose and determination he had not felt before. He had proven that humans could be allies, protectors, and problem solvers. And as he stood beside Leora in the glowing city, he knew that the coming challenges would require every ounce of courage and cleverness he possessed. Kai and Leora returned to the city with the energy crystal secured. The glowing streets reflected the light from the towering structures around them, giving the city a sense of strength and resilience. Guardians moved through the streets, their energy shields humming softly, preparing for the possibility of an attack from the coalition. Kai felt pride and urgency at the same time. He had proven his courage and intelligence on the ridge, but now a greater challenge awaited. As they approached the council hall, Leora's expression grew serious. Kai, there is something you must know. Not all within the council share our view. Some believe humans cannot be trusted. They see you as a possible threat, even after your actions. Kai's heart tightened. He had worked hard to prove his intentions, yet he understood that trust must be earned continually. I understand. He said, I will speak honestly and show them through my actions, as I have before. They entered the council hall, a vast chamber with crystal walls that pulsed with soft light. The council members were gathered, their faces serious. Some looked at Kai with curiosity, others with suspicion. Leora guided him forward. Honored council members, Leora began. This human, Kai, has demonstrated courage, intelligence, and respect for Zorth. He has retrieved the energy crystal and helped protect our land from the coalition scouts. I ask that you consider his intentions carefully. A tall council member stepped forward, his eyes sharp. We have seen outsiders before, Leora. Many have come claiming to help, and many have caused harm. Why should we trust a human now? Kai took a deep breath. He spoke calmly. I cannot speak for all humans. I can only speak for myself. I have come to help because I believe in protecting life and acting with honor. I do not seek control or reward. I only wish to assist in defending Zorth from those who would destroy it. A murmur ran through the council. Some nodded thoughtfully, while others looked unconvinced. Leora gave him a small, reassuring nod. She believed in him, and that gave Kai courage. Suddenly, the doors of the hall opened, and a council member whom Kai did not recognize entered. His presence was commanding, but there was a sharpness in his gaze that made the air tense. Leora. Kai, he said, I must inform you that my sources have confirmed an alliance with the coalition. Some of you here have acted in secret to aid them. This human's presence may be a distraction. Leora's eyes widened. What do you mean? The council member's expression was stern. There are those who do not trust outsiders and have made arrangements with the coalition. They see opportunity in weakness. You, Leora, and your ally have been naive in assuming unity. Betrayal is closer than you realize. Kai felt a chill. He had expected danger from the coalition, but now he saw that betrayal could come from within. Leora, we must act carefully, he whispered. She nodded, her silver eyes narrowing. Yes, we cannot rely on all members of the council. We must find allies who will act with honor and protect the city. The council erupted in discussion, some arguing, some questioning Kai's presence. The traitor subtly manipulated the conversation, casting doubt on Kai and Leora's judgment. It became clear that the council was divided, and the coalition's plan was to exploit this division. Kai realized that words alone would not be enough. They needed action, and they needed it quickly. We cannot wait for the council to decide. He said firmly, we must act to secure the city and protect its people. If the traitor is working with the coalition, every moment counts. Leora's eyes met his. You are right. We must act carefully, but decisively. The city's defenses can be strengthened, and we can expose the traitor before it is too late. Can I trust you to move quickly? Kai nodded. You can trust me. We will succeed together. They moved quietly through the council hall, avoiding the eyes of those who might report their actions. Leora guided Kai to a hidden passage that led beneath the city. The underground tunnels were narrow and winding, but they allowed them to move unseen. As they walked, Leora explained their plan. We must reach the control center for the city's defense systems. From there, we can monitor the approach of the coalition and ensure that no outsider within the council can interfere. We will also be able to expose the traitor. Kai listened carefully, absorbing every detail. He knew that speed and precision were critical. He felt a strange satisfaction in knowing that his human instincts, quick thinking, adaptability, and observation could make a real difference in protecting Zorth. The tunnels opened into a chamber filled with glowing panels and crystalline controls. Leora moved to the main console and began accessing the city's systems. Kai observed carefully, ready to act if needed. Suddenly, the doors behind them opened and a figure appeared. It was the traitor, a council member who had previously spoken. With authority, "I knew you would come here," he said, his tone cold. "You cannot hide from the coalition. Resistance is futile." Kai stepped forward, his stance firm. "You are wrong. Zorth's people will not be defeated by betrayal or fear. We will protect this city." The traitor sneered. "A human cannot understand our ways. You are an outsider, and yet you think you can challenge me." Kai's eyes narrowed. "I understand enough to see what is right, and I will act to defend life, honor, and trust. Your betrayal ends here." Leora moved beside Kai, her presence strong and steady. Together, they faced the traitor, their confidence growing as they realized that their unity and clarity of purpose gave them strength. The confrontation was tense, but Kai's quick thinking allowed them to disable the traitor's access to the control systems. Leora used her abilities to create a barrier, preventing the traitor from escaping. The traitor struggled, but the combined efforts of Kai and Leora left him trapped and powerless. "You underestimated the power of trust and courage," Kai said calmly. "Zorth will survive because its defenders act with honor, not for selfish gain." Leora nodded. "This is only the beginning. The coalition fleet is still approaching. But today, we have shown that betrayal will not succeed. Humans and Alari can act together to protect this world." Kai felt a sense of relief and pride. He had faced danger not just from the outside, but from within, and he had helped expose the threat. He realized that courage alone was not enough. Observation, cleverness, and cooperation were equally important. As they returned to the council hall, Leora spoke softly. "You have done well, Kai. Not only have you proven your courage, but you have also shown the council that humans can be trusted. Actions speak louder than words, and today, your actions have saved many lives." Kai smiled. "I only did what I could. Together, we are stronger, and we will face the coalition as one. I will continue to act with honor and courage." As I promised, the city hummed with energy around them, its defenses strengthened and its people preparing for the challenges ahead. Kai and Leora stood side by side, ready to face whatever came next, united by trust, determination, and the hope that together they could protect Zorth from the coming storm. Kai stood beside Leora on the walls of Zorth City, watching the sky. Strange ships appeared on the horizon, glinting in the sunlight, moving steadily toward the planet. The coalition fleet was approaching. Their intentions were clear. They sought to dominate Zorth, underestimating its people and the power of this world. Kai felt a mixture of tension and determination. This was the moment where courage and strategy would meet action. Leora turned to him. "Kai, you have learned much about our land and our people. You have proven your courage and intelligence. Now, you must help me direct the defense. The coalition will test us in ways we cannot predict. Your mind, as well as your instincts, will be critical." Kai nodded firmly. "I am ready. Tell me what to do." Leora guided him to the main control center, where the energy crystals and defense systems could be coordinated. Panels glowed softly as she accessed the city's protective mechanisms. "The coalition will attempt to divide us," she said. "They may attack from multiple points, hoping we will be distracted. We must stay united, observe their patterns, and respond carefully." Kai studied the screens, noticing small patterns in the approaching ship's movements. "They are testing us," he said. "Small groups are moving faster than the main fleet, probing for weaknesses. If we can predict their next moves, we can block them before they reach the city. Leora's eyes sparkled. Good observation, Kai. Humans are often underestimated for their ability to adapt. Use that skill now. Direct the Guardians to key points and prepare the energy barriers to intercept their probes. Kai moved quickly, giving instructions with clarity and precision. Guardians positioned themselves strategically, using the natural terrain and the glowing forest to their advantage. Energy barriers hummed to life, their pulses matching the rhythm of Zorth itself. Every movement of the Coalition fleet was met with countermeasures, slowing their advance. The first skirmish began at the outer edges of the city. Coalition ships fired energy beams, attempting to weaken the barriers. Kai studied their patterns, noticing that each ship had a predictable rhythm in its attacks. We can anticipate their moves, he said. Focus the barriers in a sequence that disrupts their rhythm. Use the terrain to guide them into slower paths. Leora nodded. Your strategy is clever. I will reinforce it with energy pulses from the crystals. Together, we can turn the forest and city into a trap for them. As the Coalition ships moved into the designated paths, the Guardians and energy barriers responded perfectly. The ships were slowed and deflected, some forced to retreat. Kai felt a surge of pride. His understanding of strategy and observation had made a difference. But the battle was not over. A group of larger ships broke through, moving directly toward the city. Leora's expression grew serious. These ships are heavily armed. We cannot allow them to reach the central area. Kai, we must act quickly and decisively. Kai thought fast. We can use the terrain against them. If we create energy pulses in the river paths and along the ridge lines, we can confuse their navigation systems. They rely on technology, but not all technology can respond to a living world. Leora nodded. Do it. I will coordinate the Guardians and reinforce the barriers. Kai activated a sequence of energy pulses along the natural paths of Zorth. The larger ships faltered, their sensors disrupted by the strange energy flows. Some collided with crystal formations, while others were forced to change course. Kai realized that combining human intuition with Zorth's natural energy gave them an unexpected advantage. Leora moved alongside him, guiding the Guardians in real time. Her confidence grew as she saw Kai's decisions working. You are proving that humans can act in harmony with Zorth, not against it. That is rare and valuable. Kai focused, ignoring fear and exhaustion. He could feel the pulse of the city, the rhythm of the Guardians, and the energy from the crystals. Every decision counted. He moved swiftly, coordinating defenses, anticipating the Coalition's moves, and making adjustments as the battle evolved. Hours passed as the battle continued. The Coalition attempted multiple strategies, but Kai and Leora responded with intelligence and unity. The city remained protected, its people safe. Kai's heart pounded, but he felt a sense of purpose stronger than any fear. Courage was important, but wisdom, observation, and teamwork were what kept them alive. Finally, the Coalition realized that their attacks were failing. They began to retreat, pulling back toward the horizon. Kai and Leora watched, knowing that this was a victory, but also aware that the Coalition might return in greater numbers. Leora turned to Kai, her expression a mixture of pride and relief. You have done more than I expected. Not only have you proven courage, but you have also shown intelligence, patience, and the ability to act in harmony with Zorth. Today, humans and Ilaria faced the Coalition together and won. Kai smiled, feeling the weight of the battle lift slightly. We did it together. Your guidance was essential, and the Guardians fought bravely. I only acted as part of the team. Leora shook her head. Your role was crucial. Many outsiders would have failed or caused harm. You observed, adapted, and acted with honor. That is what makes humans remarkable. The city pulsed with soft light, a reflection of the energy that had protected it. Citizens emerged cautiously, watching the skies and then looking toward the walls with hope. Kai realized that he had not only helped defend Zorth, but had also begun to earn the trust of its people. As they stood together on the walls, Kai looked at Leora. What comes next? He asked, Leora's silver eyes focused on the horizon. we must remain vigilant. The coalition may return, and we must continue to strengthen our defenses. But today, you have proven that humans can act with courage, intelligence, and honor. That is a lesson for both our people and theirs." Kai nodded. He felt a sense of purpose and belonging. He had arrived on Zorth as an outsider, but through courage, observation, and trust, he had become a valued ally. Together with Leora, he would continue to protect this world and its people, showing that humanity could rise to challenges no one expected. The sun or the light that bathed Zorth shifted, slowly, casting reflections across the city. Kai felt the rhythm of the planet, the pulse of its energy, and the strength of the bond he had formed with Leora. This was not just a battle of ships and technology, it was a battle of trust, courage, and wisdom, and today, humans had proven themselves worthy allies. Leora turned to him with a small smile. "Rest for now, Kai. The city is safe for today, but tomorrow will bring new challenges. You have shown that courage, intelligence, and respect for life can change the outcome of events. Remember this lesson, for it will guide you in the trials ahead." Kai nodded, feeling a deep sense of determination. He had faced the coalition, defended a world, and proven that humans could rise to extraordinary challenges. And as he looked at the glowing city and the forest beyond, he knew that the journey was far from over, but that together they could face anything. The sky above Zorth was calm now, but the memory of the coalition fleet loomed over the city. Kai stood beside Leora on the highest tower, overlooking the glowing streets and shimmering forests. Guardians patrolled diligently, energy barriers hummed with power, and citizens moved cautiously, aware that danger could return at any moment. Leora turned to Kai. "You have done well, more than I could have imagined. Your courage and intelligence have protected Zorth, but the coalition is clever. They may return with greater strength. We must prepare not only for defense, but also for strategy." Kai nodded, feeling both exhaustion and determination. "I am ready. Whatever comes, we will face it together." Leora's silver eyes reflected pride. "It is more than that, Kai. You have shown that humans can act with wisdom, patience, and honor. Today, you are not just an ally, you are part of Zorth." Kai felt warmth in his chest. He had come as an outsider, unsure of his place, but through courage, observation, and partnership, he had earned respect and trust. "Thank you, Leora. I only want to help protect this world and its people." Suddenly, a messenger arrived, reporting that scouts from the coalition had been detected further out in the system. Leora studied the readings. "They are testing. Again, probing for weaknesses. This time, we must act before they can reach the planet. Kai, your skills will be critical." Kai focused. "We can anticipate their moves. We know how they think. They rely on predictable tactics. We will use Zorth itself to guide them into traps, and the Guardians can intercept their paths." Together, Kai and Leora coordinated the city's defenses. They set up energy pulses along the crystal ridges, used the terrain to funnel coalition ships into slower routes, and placed Guardians strategically at choke points. Every decision relied on observation, timing, and understanding the environment, skills Kai had learned quickly under Leora's guidance. As the coalition fleet approached, their ships faltered under the unexpected obstacles. The humans and Alari worked in harmony, using strategy rather than brute force. Some ships collided with the crystal formations, while others were delayed long enough for Guardians to intercept them safely. Leora looked at Kai, her expression serious yet impressed. "You have learned to think like Zorth. Your intuition and quick thinking are as valuable as any weapon. Today, we do not just defend. We outsmart them." Kai felt a surge of confidence. "Then let's end this. We protect Zorth, not with fear, but with intelligence, courage, and trust." The battle intensified, but every move Kai made disrupted the coalition's advance. They had underestimated the partnership between humans and the Alari, the strength of teamwork, and the harmony with the land itself. Finally, the coalition commander realized their attacks were failing. Communication between their ships faltered. As the environment and Guardians worked against them, the fleet began to retreat. Force backed by strategy and determination rather than brute force, Kai and Leora stood together, watching the ships disappear into the horizon. The city and its people were safe, their home protected. Citizens emerged from their homes. Cheering softly, the Guardians saluted, and a sense of hope filled the air. Leora turned to Kai, her silver eyes shining. Today, you have not only defended Zorth but shown what humans can achieve. You have acted with courage, wisdom, and honor. Your presence has proven that species from different worlds can unite for a greater purpose. Kai smiled, feeling both relief and pride. I could not have done it alone. Your guidance, the Guardians, and the people of Zorth all worked together. I only did my part. Leora's gaze softened. That is true, but your part was essential. You showed the courage to act wisely, the intelligence to observe, and the heart to protect life. That is why we succeeded. Your humanity, in the truest sense, has made a difference. Kai looked at the city, glowing softly under the light of Zorth's sky. He felt a connection to this world, stronger than he had ever felt to any place before. He realized that trust, courage, and partnership were more powerful than any weapon, more valuable than any technology. Leora continued, Kai, there's one more thing. The people of Zorth have seen your actions, your choices, and your character. They respect you, and they trust you. That bond is stronger than any fleet or weapon. You have shown that humans can be true allies, capable of protecting worlds not their own. Kai felt a warmth spread through him. I never expected to find a place where I truly belong, but here, with you and your people, I feel that I can make a difference. I will continue to act with honor and courage, always. Leora reached out and placed her hand lightly on his arm. You have proven that humans are remarkable. Your choices, your actions, and your heart have saved lives. That is the greatest victory of all. The city began to celebrate quietly, not with loud fanfare, but with a deep sense of relief and appreciation. Guardians and citizens worked together to repair minor damages, strengthen defenses, and honor those who had acted bravely. Kai walked among them, observing, understanding, and feeling a sense of belonging. As night fell, the glowing forest and city shimmered under the starlight. Kai and Leora stood on a balcony overlooking the land. The battle was over, at least, for now, and the coalition had retreated. Kai spoke softly. This world is beautiful, and its people are strong. I am honored to have been part of its defense. I have learned much, and I will continue to learn. Leora smiled, her silver eyes reflecting the light. And we have learned from you, Kai. Humanity is more than strength or technology. It is courage, intelligence, and the ability to act with honor. That is why we will remember this day, and why Zorth will thrive. Kai felt a deep sense of peace. The journey that had begun with memories of a child he once protected had grown into something far greater. He had proven humanity, forged a bond across worlds, and safeguarded a planet with Leora by his side. The stars shone brightly above, and the soft hum of the city echoed through the forest. Kai knew that challenges would come again, but he also knew that courage, intelligence, and trust would guide him. Leora placed her hand gently on his shoulder. Kai, the coalition may return, but now we are ready. We have learned to act together, and that is stronger than any fleet. You have proven that humans are worthy allies, and that your heart can protect more than any weapon. Kai nodded, looking out over Zorth. We will face whatever comes next, together, for this world, for its people, and for the bond we share. The night air was calm, the city glowing softly, and the forest alive with energy. Kai and Leora stood side by side, ready for whatever the future held, knowing that humanity's courage and wisdom had left a mark that would endure. Zorth was safe for now, and Kai had proven that even an outsider could rise to meet impossible challenges, earning trust, respect, and a place among those who value courage and honor above all.